Welcome back to our Big Data Analytics lecture series. In the previous lecture, we discussed structured data and unstructured data. Today, we will learn about semi-structured data, which lies between structured and unstructured data. We will understand its characteristics, sources, storage techniques, challenges, and how XML is used to manage semi-structured data. So in this lecture, we will cover the topics include introduction to semi-structured data, characteristics, sources, storage management techniques, challenges, XML as a solution, and the difference between structured and semi-structured data. Let us begin by understanding what semi-structured data is. Semi-structured data does not follow a fixed data model like structured data. It cannot be stored directly in rows and columns in a relational database. However, unlike unstructured data, it contains tags, labels, or markers that describe the data and provide some organizations. Although only about 10% of the organization's data is semi-structured, it plays a very important role because it is commonly exchanged between different applications and systems. For example, XML file, JSON applications, emails, and that contains some structures, but they are flexible and do not require any records to have the same fields. So this is the sample XML file that includes the email, from address, to address, and the subject, CC, and the body, which includes the original content of the mail. This diagram also explains where the semi-structured data comes from. And now let us discuss the characteristics of semi-structured data. First, it does not conform to a fixed data model. Second, it contains tags and elements that describes the organization of the data. Third, similar entities are grouped together, but the attributes within each group may vary. Unlike structured database, all records do not need to have the same number of fields. Also, the metadata available is limited, so data management becomes more flexible but slightly more complex. Because of these characteristics, semi-structured data provides a balance between the rigid structure of database and the flexibility of unstructured data. There are several techniques used to manage semi-structured data. One approach is using schemas which define the structure and constraints of documents. Another approach is graph-based data model where data is represented as connected nodes instead of tables. One of the most widely used technologies is XML or Extensible Markup Language. XML uses tags to organize information, making it easier to exchange the data between different applications while maintaining flexibility. Storing semi-structured data presents several challenges. They also include higher storage cost, irregular and partially structured information, frequently changing schemas, difficulty in distinguishing between schema and actual data. To address these challenges, we can use or the organizations can use several solutions like XML documents, relational database management systems, special purpose database management systems, OEM, which stands for Object Exchange Model. These technologies help to store and organize semi-structured information in an efficient manner. Object Exchange Model, commonly called OEM, is a data model that is designed specifically for semi-structured data. Instead of storing information in tables, OEM represents data as a labeled directed graph. Each node represents an object, while the connecting arrows represent relationship or attributes. This graph-based representation makes it easier to model complex and flexible data structures. Extracting information from semi-structured data also presents several challenges. Data often comes from heterogeneous sources with different formats. Some files may have incomplete or irregular structures, making automatic processing difficult. To overcome these challenges, the organizations use XML, OEM technologies, indexing techniques, and data mining tools. These technologies improve searching, classification, and retrieval of information in an easier way. XML or Extensible Markup Language is one of the most popular solutions for managing semi-structured data. It is an open source markup language written in plain text. XML is platform independent, meaning it can be used on different operating hardwares. One major advantage of XML is that it separates the content from its presentation. It also uses document type definitions, that is a DTD, to describe the structure of XML documents. Because of these features, XML has become a standard for exchanging data over the internet. Let us compare semi-structured data with XML. Semi-structured data contains objects and attributes. Instead, the XML objects are represented using elements while attributes are represented using tags. The actual data values are stored as character data, also known as C data. XML therefore provides a standardized way to represent semi-structured information. Finally, let us compare the structured data with semi-structured data. Structured data follows a fixed schema and it is stored in a rows and columns format. This semi-structured data does not have a fixed schema. Instead, its structure is defined by examining the data itself through tags and elements. Another important point is that semi-structured data can often be transformed into structured data after processing. Say for example, XML or JSON data can be imported into relational database where it is stored in rows and columns for analysis. This flexibility makes semi-structured data widely used in web applications, cloud computing, and data integration. To summarize today's lecture, we learned that semi-structured data combines features of both structured and unstructured data. It does not follow a rigid schema but uses tags and elements to organize information. Common examples include XML documents, JSON files, and emails. Although managing and storing semi-structured data presents challenges, technologies such as XML, OEM, and specialized databases provide effective solutions. Thank you for watching.